I recently had probably one of the scariest moments of my life with my 4-year-old wild blonde terror, Gracie, where we could not wake her up. Certain times as a mom, you know that, oh, rub some dirt on it. And then there's other times where you're like, this is not my child, something's wrong. Mother's intuition is a real thing. Luckily, my best friend is a doctor. And so I texted her and I just said, hey, this is Gracie's behavior. She's not talking. I can't keep her awake. And her body temperature is really low. And she just said instantly, wrap her in a blanket, get her to the nearest ER, get stable vitals. We go in and they take her back and she's laid out on a stretcher, lifeless. And that was so hard for me because she is my wild card. She's never quiet. She's never still. And that was hard. And they instantly were like, we're going to have to, we have standard protocol. We're going to check her blood sugar. We're going to start an IV. We're going to do all these things. And so it was hard because they were sticking her everywhere and she just wasn't moving, like she didn't cry. She didn't do anything. And she's a pincushion. And she's so tiny that she had to be stuck more than once. And she was apparently really dehydrated. So she had Band-Aids everywhere. And they were like, we're going to have to get a urine sample because that's just kind of standard. Most of the time, if somebody has anything going on, you're either going to see it in their blood or in their urine. And they were like, do you think you can get a urine sample? And at this point, I was like, I don't even know my own name at this point. And they're like, well, if we can't get her to like help us get this, then we're going to have to cath her. And I just couldn't watch my baby be stuck anymore. So they give us 2 options. They bring in this cup and this bag that, I don't know how anybody in that situation would be able to ring a cup like that trying to save your child's life. The last thing that I was worried about was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to position, there was no way. And so then they brought in the EcoP. And because Abby is a friend of mine, I instantly knew what it was. And so the woman was actually kind of shocked that I knew how to use it. And I was like, okay, like I'm not going to have to cath my baby. Like this is going to work. So we got the EcoP. It worked perfectly. And because that was so much faster than if they would have had to cath her and wait to have to empty whatever it was that they could get, time was of the essence when it came to saving her life. And because of that urine sample, that's when we figured out what was wrong with her. And thankfully, because everything worked so quickly and that was such an easy fix and it didn't take me having to balance a lifeless child on a toilet, she's okay. We figured it out and she's okay. But it was all because of the urine sample that we were finally able to get. And I don't know that with my hands shaking the way that they were, trying to be the strong mom, that I would have been able to ring a cup. I really don't. It made it so much easier that I don't know how something like this was not invented before, but I'm glad it is now because it certainly made my life a lot easier because I couldn't handle another tube or another cord or anything like that and put her through any more than what she went through. And it was a lifesaver for my sanity, I will say that, because I was at a breaking point. And so that it was a game changer.